Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Ace in the Hole podcast.
I personally didn't think we'd make it this far.
we were talking in the Discord about kicking Eli out already.
Yep.
After the first episode. But
I deserve it.
we're back. I'm a little sick. You can hear it in my voice. Little sore throat, little cough. Joined with me as always, my brother Cliff, lifelong friend Eli. Now, getting this out of the way first. Who was right about the Nate Diaz fight?
Bite me. Moving on.
Who was right about the Nate Diaz fight?
Moving on.
Did you call the round too?
I did. I said, knowing Nate Diaz, he will pull some shit like he did in the McGregor fight and win in like third or fourth round choke. Those were like my exact words.
I enjoy that Diaz just decided to take a break in the middle of the fight and just lean on the cage and just talk shit.
That's just Diaz. That's all that matters. It's just Diaz, and he got it done. So no fucking surprises there. Speaking of no surprises, pretty mundane week for wrestling, honestly. I mean, we got stuff to cover, but not like we did last week.
Definitely nothing like last week.
Yeah, no fucking joke. Starting out here with Dynamite, though, Moxley advances in the Tournament of Champions, as if that was any question. And then, looking further on into Dynamite, not pretty mundane Dynamite as well. I mean, we got to see the Firm, Swerve in Our Glory won, Britt Baker and Serena Deebs won. And then you had the main event of the entire night, which was Danielson over Jericho, which was a good match as everyone thought it'd be.
It was a banger. Definite banger.
I predicted the winner.
Hit the Sheamus banger after banger.
1 for 2.
Speaking of Sheamus, by the way, Austen, I was looking. That beef he got into with MJF, Sheamus deleted all of his tweets.
Did he really?
Yeah.
For those of you listening, if you aren't up to date on your Twitter beefs, MJF kind of tuned in, got in the mix, because it was Sheamus and Baron Corbin doing some kayfabe stuff, just kind of shooting on each other, well, shooting in quotes on each other on Twitter, and Sheamus said that real heels wear scarves, which prompted MJF to enter the chat and absolutely decimated Sheamus, and then proceeded to decimate some poor life coach on Twitter because the life coach said that he didn't like seeing the side of MJF because there was a picture of him when he got engaged, and he said, "You're a professional life coach, real fucking sad that you're riding the coattails of mine," or something along the lines of that. So just MJF being a normal menace on Twitter. As
So
usual.
good to have him back. It really is so good.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before we started, and he didn't realize how much I missed MJF on social media and Twitter until he came back. But Eli, it looks like you're safe from Sammy Guevara getting anywhere near a world title for the foreseeable future.
Happy as can be. I freaking love that he's nowhere near it. Now he just needs to stay away from the TNT title.
They just need to keep him out of all the title scenes, honestly.
Exactly.
I do enjoy that, how after the entire match and show ended, they quietly announced that we're getting Guevara Kingston next week. And after the fallout of everything else, that seems quiet compared to everything else.
And I feel like AEW's just kind of throwing shit together here. Like, moving on to Rampage, what's Darby got to do with Matt Hardy at this point? I get you need matches, but don't you think you could throw something a little better out there than Darby versus Matt Hardy?
Well, because Jeff's coming back.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, is that confirmed? I thought you were being.
No, that was
being a smart ass.
No, Jeff is confirmed to be coming back soon. by Matt himself. It was a very quick cutaway promo that they did, and it went by in a flash. And Jeff is coming back, and they pulled a clip into the what I think was one of Jeff's last matches, which was against Darby Allin, before shit hit the fan. There's no better way to put it. And so, yeah, no, Jeff's out of rehab. We're getting out of it.
Well, let's hope he can fucking stay sober this time. Jesus Christ.
Can only hope.
But talking about stuff that just kind of came out of nowhere, Jericho versus Claudio next week for the ROH World Title. Yeah. Jericho literally just said, "Hey, I want another title." And Claudio was like, "Shit, okay."
It's
fighting champion. It shows that he is, like you said, a very fighting champion. He'll take on anybody.
And it'll be a good match.
Yeah, it will be a great match. My only problem with it is this is like the first real, it feels, besides Dax, the first real fight he's had, because it's been on Dark and Elevation and sometimes Rampage. It's never been a real World Championship feel to that title since the ROH has been bought by AEW.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of how a lot of the ROH titles have been. Like, besides, like, certain matches, like the Samoa Joe and, I'm blanking on his last name. Josh.
Gresham.
Jonathan Gresham?
No. It's the one he just faced.
Josh
Wood, yeah.
That was a good match.
Like, yeah, like, the matches can surprise, but, like, they aren't big matches. Like, they're on Rampage. Like, you spent all this money to buy ROH, and it's just basically ROH Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Samoa... Excuse me, sorry. Speaking of Samoa Joe, dying over here, he was stiff as hell. Just back to being stiff-ass Samoa Joe.
Kind of reminded me of the old TNA Asylum days with Samoa Joe and ROH matches and stuff where, you know, he would bash his opponents with forearms and choke them out and stuff. And kind of, especially the younger guys coming into it, of almost like Hardcore Holly would do in his matches, with not sandbagging, but just absolutely obliterating them the best he could during the match while also putting on a good match.
Yeah, just kind of the, and I just went back and rewatched most of that Walter Dragunov match, and they just beat the fuck out of each other, and that's what it reminds me of. Every time I see anything like that, just anyone beating the fuck out of each other, I can't help think of, like, NXT UK. Well, what will soon be NXT Europe.
Yeah, no. That match, as me and Cliff went over last podcast episode, it deserved the star rating it got, and it deserved a lot of the praise it got, because it was a fight. It was not really a match. It was more of a fight than anything else.
And then, really, last thing I got, well, two things I got for Rampage. Danhausen got fucking squashed.
Yes.
Danhausen,
Poor Danhausen. Very nice, very beatable.
Oh.
I think he's like...
Ow.
I think he's like 6-5 now in AEW.
Yeah, he tapped out Pretty Peter.
Yeah, I love Danhausen, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he should be wrestling any matches at all. I think he should just stay as... First of all, I don't know how the fuck his gimmick's working on TV. It shouldn't. He shouldn't even be getting any attention at all. But he's so over with the crowd.
People love that Danhausen.
Exactly.
I love Danhausen. I think even before he came to AEW, I think he was a really good wrestler, like overall, or sports entertainer, or whatever the fuck you want to label him as. But I was
Wow. Okay.
what?
Chris Jericho wants to
2021.
know your location.
No, Danhausen, 2021, and his overall career win-loss in AEW is 3-2, with 1-0 in tag team, 1-0 in trios, and 1-2 in singles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
that
the
sounds
hell
about
ever
right.
happened to Hookhausen?
Yeah, that they were together, and then 2
We
weeks
don't
later
talk
they
about
weren't.
Hookhausen.
And then
What-
Hook decided to go and tag with Action Johnson.
Action Bronson, idiot.
Oh, sorry.
It's Bronson. He's the one. He's the one that sings his entrance theme.
Looks like
Is he actually?
Dollar General Bam Bam
He
Bigelow.
is. He's a legitimate rapper. He actually puts out some pretty good stuff. I saw someone say, "What the hell is Bray Wyatt doing here?" when he showed up on TV for the first time.
I like the dollar store Bam Bam Bigelow. That was good.
But like Danhausen, I was excited to see him actually get to work in an AEW ring, and now he's just a complete comedy gimmick. So I feel like he's only going to get squashed. Besides, like the few dark matches that they actually give him. So I mean,
I don't
It
know.
is
We were
what it is.
saying the same thing about Orange Cassidy a year ago.
He Superman punched Pac. I just talk about joke and everything. That just clicked in my head. Like flashback real quick. Pac was in an interview and Orange Cassidy sucker punched Pac backstage.
did you see that they brought that one dude from the Indies, the pizza dough dude?
Yes,
I forget
and
his
Luigi!
name.
boot to the face.
Yeah. He was on screen for a whole second and then took a boot to the face.
Felt like a
The
limp
easiest
noodle,
night of
man.
work that man's ever had.
Exactly.
While we're on the topic of AEW Dark for lifers, talk about my favorite AEW Dark for lifer, Abaddon. Still
Getting a
doing
good
her
shape.
thing, their thing. Yeah, I mean they have lost a lot of weight, and I think it's about time they actually give them a shot on the main roster. I mean, I say main roster, like on the main shows. How about that? On Dynamite and Rampage.
I got you.
Like I don't understand how you can have a character that good and just send them out on Dynamite every week to just squash another jobber. I don't get that. They're good in the ring. Their character is phenomenal. They sell their character. They live their character. I mean, it just blows my mind, and I think that's just kind of a tribute to the AEW mindset of kind of already have to. And the current AEW landscape, you aren't going to have any more MJFs or Jungle Boy Jack Perry's or Sammy Guevara's or Darby Allin's. Coming into AEW now, you have to have a recognizable name,
Yeah.
or else you're just going to get shafted onto dark. Like the one Parker Borudo.
Yep.
Well, he just
He
sucks in
was-
general.
Ooh, Chad won't like that one.
I'm standing by that one. He is stiff in the ring and not in a good style Samoa Joe. He just doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. His mic skills are terrible. I just don't.
Well,
There's a reason he got released. I'll leave it at that one.
you can be wrong in your opinion, and that's okay.
As long as you're willing to die by that.
I'll die by that sword.
But, I mean, kind of hard to follow up our last episode. Our last episode was pretty much all AEW because they were legitimately fighting and biting each other backstage. And I feel like we've just, like, this episode's going to be so boring because we don't have anything like that to cover.
Here's your Kenny Omega update for the week. He is having the best summer vacation ever. He went back to Japan to meet up with Ibushi, and is having the time of his life on this on this brand new summer vacation of his.
Who got suspended from
That's someone I
NJPW because he breached his contract working with another company. So the two suspended boys are together in Japan, living it up.
It's a beautiful summer vacation.
I can't wait to see him wrestle more.
Coda?
Yeah, I love him.
Oh, he's great.
I think he's so good. There was some, I don't know if it was him or someone else earlier, like in their careers, had like the Demon Boy persona. Was it him?
I don't remember.
I want to say it was him. I would
I don't know,
almost bet money that it was him. Because it was kind of like a Finn Balor type of thing. Like, he'd become more aggressive, have more aggressive moves, stuff like that. And I remember watching a couple matches where he did that persona, and he was really just over the top. I can never find anything on it. Like, even if I search Demon Boy New Japan, I can't find anything on it. It also could have been a rough translation.
I have a name popping up in my head, but you're not going to like what I say.
Well, I'd like to know versus not knowing.
Kishin Liger, which is Jushin Liger, painted up without the mask.
No, it wasn't Liger. I'm telling you, I think it was Ibushi.
We will know by next episode.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I said, I've been looking for it forever, and I can't find it. But, I mean, that's pretty much it for AEW. Other than Swerve in Our Glory, can't stand big old son, Keith Lee. Can't stand him. Don't think he's good. Can't stand Athena. Don't think she's good. Those are like, if I see them on my screen, I'm probably watching something else. I don't know. Neither of them I can get behind.
It's Shinsuke Nakamura.
No,
Shinsuke Nakamura had a demon theme.
I'm telling you. I think it was Ibushi. But regardless, we'll look into that later. I'm surprised I didn't get any reaction for saying I didn't like Keith Lee.
I don't like Swerve Strickland, so we're on the same page.
I don't think they should. I think
we're gonna get banned from the wrestling podcast world because of our opinions today. Cliff's gonna be the only one allowed.
Act like anyone's even listened to this.
Keith Lee is great.
No, he's not. But moving on to Hunter's Wonderland, Vince's Wasteland, WWE.
The best
WWE Raw. Don't know where they were at. Probably some trash hole on the East Coast. Baylor beat Riddle. New tag titles, new tag champs. Dakota Kai and Io Sky beat Leah and Raquel Rodriguez. Gargano won his first match back.
Yes, he did.
I mean, it looked a little shaky.
He even admitted to that.
Let's hope he just gets that rust off. Yeah. I mean, you can't go sitting around and not do anything and expect to be where you left off. And then almost just being boring, as usual. Just taking out jobbers. And then we got more Loomis and Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see it. And then Edge won by DQ over Dom.
Yes, but he did not leave a winner.
Yeah, he did. We'll use winner very lightly here. But, I mean, overall, a very, very, mundane Raw, which is unheard of in the Hunter era.
I think also...
I will say, I do appreciate the Judgment Day still looking to add members. That's how Finn ended up fighting Riddle in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that they're still looking to grow.
It's a lot of young guns in the group kind of moving in. Now, Finn's not a young gun. I know that. He's been around. He's not young anymore, but neither is Damian Priest. He was Punishment Martinez in ROH before this. So, it's not like he's young either. The only two real young ones in there are Rhea Ripley and Dom. So, if they are continuing to kind of build it as a young stable, not Nexus, they could build it to fighting Nexus maybe, but a young stable trying to take out the Legends, I don't see any problem with this. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I don't know. There's something else going on there. I don't know. I just don't believe that the Judgment Day is either done growing or they're done rotating in and out people. I don't know who's coming in. I don't know who's going to come out. I just don't think this is the final set of people.
I will abstain from this conversation because I caught flack for my comments about Rhea Ripley last week. So I will let you two head this conversation. I will refrain.
What on earth are you talking about, Austen?
What comments?
Gee, I have no idea.
I would love to know.
It's just you
don't want to take me down a
feelings
peg?
for Rhea.
You don't want to take us down a peg?
I think
on what we're
Rhea.
talking about?
I think Rhea wants to take Dom down a peg. And in turn, apparently last week my words got misconstrued and said I would be taken down a peg.
Which you still, in the entire time we've been talking today, have been yet to deny. So anyway, we're going to roll right into SmackDown next, right? There's nothing left on Raw?
No, nothing left at all on Raw. Moving on to SmackDown. Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns.
No.
The Tribal Chief versus the Maverick.
I think this is the most
I'm
thing
not
that
a
we can
fan.
talk about. The thing with the most stuff to talk about here, because there's a lot of...
Also, before we get any further, did we talk about the Fatal 4-Way that they announced on Rampage? Did we get sidetracked from that?
Yeah, we got sidetracked.
We got complete... I literally said two things left, and then we started talking about Raw. Fatal 4-Way announced for new number one contender for the championship after whoever wins it between Moxley and Daniel Bryan's.
Did they give the
Bryan
wrestlers
Danielson.
for that?
I don't know for sure. Did they? All I know is that it was announced and people were flabbergasted and befuddled that AEW would dare do something like this.
Because it's weird.
Can you
they
say
just
more
did a
words
tournament.
while I look it up on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. It's stupid and weird. You have a tournament to crown a champion. You still have MJF there, and now you're having a number one contendership match. It completely kind of sidelines the purpose of the whole tournament, I feel like.
Well, also...
Okay, I've got the competitors for the Golden Ticket Battle Royale on Rampage Grand Slam.
It's a Battle Royale?
You're
I don't
skipping
know.
over the
Fatal
Golden
four-way.
Ticket part.
It only shows 4 people. So we've got the Murder Hawk.
Okay.
That's Penta, sorry. Yeah, Penta. And then you've got Hangman.
Okay, I'm more on board now.
Yeah, and now that it says Battle Royal, I don't know if it's just going to be the people we have there, or...
I
So,
have no clue.
more?
So why
I feel like if they didn't do something like...
Why not put the people who lost the matches in the tournament at this point and stick them in a fight?
My thing is, I feel like if they didn't do something like this, it would just devalue the chip that MJF has, because they're building it up as a Money in the Bank type of thing where you can cash in anytime, any place, anywhere. So if he was just like, oh yeah, which I fucking hate when WWE does this, when they'll give over their Money in the Bank, they're like, I want a shot at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or Survivor Series or whenever the hell it is. It completely gets rid of the purpose of having the Money in the Bank. Which I feel like this is the only way that they would be able to do it, because MJF has talked about cashing in whenever. And if they didn't do something like this, it would be the same thing. It would just be like, oh, I want my title shot 2 weeks from today. I'm sure you won't expect that when I'm telling you right now. It completely gets rid of, the gimmick of it all.
I understand that point, because
Oh, I
instead of
apologize.
announcing
Jay
it for a
Lethal
pay-per-view.
was also on the poster.
Oh, now I'm completely sold. Jay Lethal makes it worth everything. Don't like Jay
So
Lethal,
yeah,
but
it looks like it's going to be like a Royal Rumble kind of deal.
Nick,
That
going
man
back-
can do one mean Ric Flair impression.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Going back to the chip thing, yeah, I understand that point because, yeah, instead of announcing that you're doing this at a pay-per-view, you're going to have a match against whoever wins, and I'm taking you on at the pay-per-view. It kind of adds, it gives something to AEW, kind of like the Feast of Fire briefcases from Impact TNA back when. There was the X Division, you could cash in whenever. There was the tag team one, you could cash in whenever. There was a world title one, you could cash in whenever. They had a women's, or the Knockouts division one, for a short time. Or you got fired. I'm not saying AEW needs to do that, because I feel like they would mess up the storyline somehow with the fire.
Yeah, because
slip.
Feast or Fired was such a good idea to begin with.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, there
great
was
idea.
nothing wrong with Feast of Fire sometimes.
Sometimes. There's nothing wrong with it sometimes. That's just like that
Sometimes.
one match that they had, like the reverse battle royale,
The
battle royal match.
King of the Hill. King of the Hill.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that sometimes. When it works, it works, but when
Didn't
it doesn't, it's
Rhino-
one of the worst things you can ever watch.
Didn't Rhino win the NWA Championship off of that?
Pretty sure.
Yes.
So, sometimes...
I'd much rather talk about Logan Paul.
Yeah,
No!
we're getting off track here. Chad's gonna be upset that we got off track because he told me last week his only criticism was that we were all over the place, and now we're all over the place again.
I
We
have
need to zone
ADD,
back
I
in.
can't help it.
Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns,
I
the
hate
Tribal
it.
Chief versus the Maverick.
I hate it! Give me...
It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match.
Who? I had about to say...
What makes you think it's going to be a good
Whatever.
match, Austin?
What makes me think it's gonna be a good match?
Yes.
If Logan Paul can put on a good match with The Miz, he can put on a good match with Roman Reigns. It's a lot easier. Roman Reigns is already an established name. Miz was an established name. It was at SummerSlam. He's wrestled at WrestleMania. He's wrestled at SummerSlam. Those are the two biggest shows that you can wrestle at.
He's going to wrestle
Survivor
at Royal
Series
Rumble
isn't
now.
Survivor Series isn't a big four pay-per-view anymore. I don't care what you say. It's not. They don't treat it like it is anymore, so it's
Well, then
not.
what took its place?
I don't know. Nothing has. Yeah, the Saudi shows have, actually. But he's going to be wrestling in front of all these Saudi Arabians, and they're going to be going absolutely batshit crazy over the Maverick, Logan Paul.
Good way or bad way?
And I don't know. I have no clue. But
It's-
I can guarantee you if they hear that A-Town Down, baby, they're going to go batshit in a bad way.
We
I swear
joked
to God,
about
if
it
he gets
earlier.
cooked again.
We joked about it earlier, the Bloodline getting banned during that match. I just was thinking about it. Sami Zayn's never been to any of the Saudi Arabia shows, correct?
Yeah, but that's like a personal thing. It's not safe for him to be there.
Yeah, so build it into a storyline of something happening. Hey, just follow me
No.
through this. This is A-Town Down winning the title here. I know you want this, so let me have my
listening.
moment.
Which is crazy because
So-
I used to hate Austin Theory. I used to despise Austin Theory.
I know.
When he got his main roster call up,
And
when
so
he got his main roster call up, became a big fan.
we
Anyway, keep going. My apologies.
have Roman Wayne. Oh, speech impediment.
Roman
came
Waynes.
out. I know my speech impediment came out badly right there. We have Roman, just calling him Roman. Roman beats the ever living shit out of Logan Paul. Just buries him. He's getting ready to pin Logan after taunting and everything, taunting the crowd. The music hits. A-Town Down comes down with the briefcase. He comes down because the bloodline's gone. They're banned from ringside because something happened with Sami Zayn, or that they just weren't able to make the show. Something happens, they get banned, whatever. Just No bloodline down there. Paul Heyman at all. A-Town down. Runs down to the ring. Hits Roman Reigns with the briefcase. Cashes in, hits Roman with the briefcase because the triple threat match, no disqualification. At that point, pins Logan Paul. Then you can have a match afterwards of Roman Theory and potentially do a title split. That's just my thought process on that, though.
I don't envy Hunter, though.
Yeah, everything I've read says that they don't like Roman as a double champ, but they don't know how to get it off of him.
Exactly. They've been booked into a corner.
That's been like the big talk over the past, earlier this week I saw, was that they're literally in like a dilemma. Like they want to get it off of him, they want to split it, but they don't know how to do it logically. So that's why he just keeps winning over and over again. Is because, yeah, USA's getting pissed off that they don't have a title, but there's nothing that fucking Hunter can do about it.
There's no. They got booked into a corner. He got built up as this wrestler among wrestlers, the god among men, and now.
I think you mean a tribal chief.
I'm not acknowledging him.
I think you mean the head of the table.
I'm not
Roman
acknowledging
Reigns.
him. Roman Waynes, you mean?
Throwing that one up in the air. I acknowledge
I
him.
hate it. My one is a middle finger up into the air towards that, but I just think that he got
Everyone
booked
listening
too
at
hard.
home or in your car, throw up that one.
He got
Acknowledge
booked
Roman
too
Reigns.
hard. And now they're stuck in a corner that they can't get out of because of what Vince and them booked him into. And it
Honestly,
sucks.
though, I do see them using Theory to split the titles.
They have to at this point.
Doing some sort of stipulation within the Money in the Bank contract saying that the contract can only be used to collect one title or some bullshit like that.
And
That's the only logical way I see out.
You said that last episode, and I've lingered on that, and it's played in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that doesn't actually sound bad. It gives
It's
an
the only
out.
way they're going to get it off of him and split it.
Exactly, it gives an out.
So that way, it gives USA their title back, send Theory to Raw, let them take the GM belt back to Raw.
Wait,
And,
didn't Rollins cash in on both the World Heavyweight and the WWE titles back when they were separate belts?
No.
No, they had the gold belt.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
I'm almost positive.
Because you're talking about Brock Lesnar and Roman, right?
No.
His
Maybe.
cash in at WrestleMania.
No, that was just the WWE Championship at that point.
Didn't he have the briefcase around the time when Cena and Orton unified the titles?
No.
Or am I completely misremembering that?
Misremembering that. He cashed in the WWE Championship. Then he eventually won the United States Championship against John Cena. And he held both of those for a short
gotcha.
time. Because he fought against Sting around that time, I do believe.
When are we going to have the Money in the Bank cashed in for the 24/7 championship?
Never. Bite your tongue.
What happened to the 24/7
I
championship?
pulled up the clip. Seth did cash in just for the WWE Championship.
Okay.
So that was
So
cashing in for 2 belts. I don't think it's been done. So
I was probably say that's something that they'd have to, because maybe it has been done and we just don't know it, and that's why they haven't.
I was trying to think back into the olden, and I can't remember
No,
any
because-
times that...
Edge was the first, and we haven't had the unified belts for a very long time.
Was Edge the first or second?
Edge was the first because he cashed in at New Year's Revolution on the bloody John Cena after he went through the
Which
elimination
was for
chamber.
the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam cashed in for the WWE Championship, but he was already ECW champion. CM Punk was the world title. Jack was world. Kane was world. Miz was WWE. Yeah, there's never been a double title cash-in.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Then like the 2 or 3 failed ones.
Yeah, when it came... I don't think there was really anything else on SmackDown, so that leaves NXT and the hot button topic.
No, we got more stuff on SmackDown. We got Strowman.
Braun destroyed some models.
And then we're getting L.A. Knight back.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Can we get a dummy
and
button
then Bailey
for that?
We need a shoosh button.
Shoosh, please.
Shoosh. But Bailey beat Raquel. Thank you. And then the Brawling Brutes beat the number one, won that fatal 4-way against Imperium and a couple other. It was Imperium, New Day, and
Humberto and Angel Garza.
Angel.
I do believe.
So they're number one tag champ contenders, and then Solo Sikoa beat Madcap Moss, which will lead us into NXT, where there's only 2 things to talk about. Solo Sikoa winning the North American Championship.
Hell yeah.
And we're back in black, baby.
Yeah,
black and gold is back. Even though it's not going to change anything.
It won't mean anything unless they go back and repackage everything.
Yeah, unless they literally go back to TakeOver and they bring back Velveteen Dream.
The days of Velveteen Dream.
No.
Bro, I love
The man
Velveteen
was just
Dream
arrested
so
for
much.
drug paraphernalia and other things. No.
Hey, did you watch his Instagram live?
Yes, about
That
ECT
shit
and
was
cocaine.
crazy.
Yes, I watched it.
Yeah.
The man does not need that.
I love.
AEW.
Yes, he does.
AEW.
No.
Bring that man back.
Elevation.
Bring the Dream back.
No. The dream is over, and not in a good way.
He definitely does not need to be back, in all seriousness. But I loved Velveteen Dream. I thought he was probably my favorite, like during the whole black and gold era.
We would
Honestly,
argue
I just
about
loved
it
him.
all the time. Him and Johnny Gargano.
I just thought like his character was unique. It was a mix of like all these different, like you had the Rick Rude, the Ric Flair, the Shawn Michaels type of, like everything was just morphed into one. And it was like he was just so silky smooth in the ring, and he cut good promos. They weren't the best, but they were good enough to suffice. And what he lacked in, something else made up. Like he was just like I feel like he's one of the epitomes of the black and gold like era. I think he's up there with Ciampa. He's up there with Gargano. He's up there with the Undisputed Era. He's up there with Shinsuke, Sami Zayn,
Sadly,
Kevin Owens.
I can't disagree with this, really. Because you can't think North
He
American
was
Championship without him.
And I just went back and watched the inaugural match a couple months ago.
Match? Yeah.
Yeah, and that shit was good. Oof. Yeah, we don't talk about Lars Sullivan.
But we can talk about Velveteen Dream.
What is that, like Snitsky
We
4.0
can.
or something?
We can talk about Velveteen Dream because Velveteen Dream was actually good in the ring. Actually cut good promos. All Lars Sullivan was like big and stinky and dumb. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
At least he never
But
punt kicked.
this is definitely hot. That is true. Little Schnitsky. But things are looking up for NXT though.
Yes.
I do believe that getting away from the 2.0 and going back to, or just going away in general from 2.0, not even necessarily having to go back to the black and gold era, just doing something different. I feel like NXT's in a good spot right now. They have plenty of talent to lead the way per se.
Just have to start over.
Yeah, for the 3rd time. 4th time, really. Because you had, like, the very beginning of NXT with Rollins and Bo Dallas and Big E.
I never stopped believing, man.
And then, he's got his own YouTube channel now?
I did not.
He makes food. That's Bo Dallas.
Nice.
And then
I gotta look this up. Hold on. I'm gonna go mute for a while.
And then we transferred into the black and gold era with Ciampa and all that. And then now we're in like our third iteration of NXT with NXT 2.0. And now we're going to go to black and gold 2.0, which Lord knows.
Well, we keep calling it black and gold, but there's no real. It's gold and white.
Well, yeah, but I just think that's part of them. Right. They don't want to. They don't want to overhaul anything too much yet. I think they kind of dropped that to get interest back in it because I feel like a lot of people felt like we did. You know, it was just kind of something was missing. Like it wasn't all there. I do like the setup though, with how close everything feels. Like it feels like the crowd is like on top of the ring. I do like how close and compact everything feels in the new.
Kind of Lucha Underground vibes.
I was going to try to figure out a way to shoehorn a Lucha Underground in here at some point, just because I love Lucha Underground so much. And I can do that with our next topic because on a commercial break at SmackDown, they played an a cappella version of White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane.
Yes, and everybody thinks it's Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's The Fiend, but Karrion Kross went by the White Rabbit and Lucha Underground. So, I mean, it really could be anything. Like, and apparently, like, they acknowledge it on TV. Like, they say, like, strange happenings are going on or whatever, and, like, could this be a warning sign? But, I don't know. I thought that was something super interesting, because I think the song itself is super interesting, and she can sing like a motherfucker. So, like, it gave me chills when I heard it, because I've never heard, like, just the vocals. But it was pretty good. Just more Bray Wyatt hype. All that came out of that, really. And then we should have talked about this earlier. Oh, go ahead.
But here we are, the touchy point of the entire podcast.
Yeah, Omega sent feelers. That's confirmed. That's exactly what I was talking about. Thanks for segueing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, of course, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated Top 500 got released, and boy, is it fucking terrible.
Like, Austen, I remember growing up, we would go through and we would every year look at it and think about how cool it was and stuff. I don't think I've ever seen one as rough as this one.
No shit. All right, here's your top 10. If you didn't know, if you didn't look at it already, here's your top 10. 1, Roman Reigns. 2, Kazuchika Okada. 3, CM Punk. Phil Brooks is at 3. 4, Hangman Adam Page. 5, Bobby Lashley. 6, Cody Rhodes. 7, Bryan Danielson. 8, El Hijo Del. I apologize if I absolutely butchered that. 9, Big E. And then 10 is Jonathan Gresham. And then just the further you go down, the worse it gets, really. Because you've got MJF at 16, above Seth Rollins at 17. You got Josh Alexander above both of them, and Hiroshi Tanahashi at 14. You got Cardona at 13. Few more notable ones. You got Jay White all the way down there at 23. You got Braun Breaker above Will Ospreay. You got Guevara above Zack Sabre Jr. It's just, I don't know.
The worst one of it all is Danhausen at 331. What the fuck?
Danhausen's one. I mean,
yeah, Danhausen is always number 1.
You got Orton at 47. You got Darby Allin at 45. Nakamura at 46.
CM Punk.
I mean, you could just go through. No, yeah, that's the biggest thing I was gonna say. Is you're giving a man who had like what 5 matches, 6 matches.
And they want all even
you're giving
that
him
good.
Yeah, you're giving him the 3rd spot. All because he got carried by MJF. Let's be honest here. CM Punk would not have been as big of a deal if it wasn't for that feud with MJF. Of course, he would have been a big deal, but that feud with MJF was kind of what got all eyes on like what he was doing. They're like, oh, where the fuck's he going to go from here? I don't see how you can put someone who started a backstage war, got several people suspended, at 3. And I don't understand how you put Okada at 2. I feel like Okada at 1 is just like one of the 10 commandments at this point. Might as well be the 11th commandment. Okada always deserves 1. It doesn't matter how bad of a year he's had. Deserves 1. And that's it. I'm honestly surprised to see Adam Page as high as he is as well. At 4.
I mean, you gotta realize, though, for the majority of the time that they did this, he was the AEW champ.
That is true.
I think Cody Rhodes being this high, too, is...
Who is
That
El
one's interesting to
Hijo
me. I got it.
I was probably to say, I don't know off the top of my head.
That's like the one name that I don't know out of all of these people.
Is he the AAA champ right now?
I would assume
no
so.
idea.
And then looking down the list a little more, you got Nick Aldis at 60. You got Damian Priest at 57. You got Trevor Murdoch at 75.
Wheeler Yuta's 43.
Above Keith Lee at 80. Riddle at 89. Jungle Boy at 90. Gunther at 91. You got Theory at 96. I don't get like what goes into this. Like, you can't put Nick Gage at 112. Like, that's not okay. I love deathmatch wrestling as much as the next dude. Like, I probably like it a little too much.
Yes.
But you can't put Nick Gage at 112. Like, there are probably 300 wrestlers that are better than Nick Gage. I think they're just pulling stuff out of their ass at this point. I really don't know.
I'm going through the list again. I really don't see Cash at all.
Yeah, you got one member of FTR, but
one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling today, if not the greatest, and he's nowhere to be seen.
They got Loomis at 195.
Somebody needs to fix their shit
that
when they're doing this.
El Hijo del Vikingo, he's been the AAA champ for going on about a year.
Oh.
And they do a lot of good shit down there in AAA, so...
They do, but how often do they have shows? So how often is he defending that belt?
I don't know, but I'm gonna be honest. I've never watched AAA and seen a bad match.
That is true.
So
that is true.
Like I can't remember a single match that I've watched and be like, oh man.
There's some matches where there's botches and stuff.
But that doesn't make it a bad match.
That just makes it entertaining sometimes.
I will say one of the most
Go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the most entertaining things that AAA does is that they have VR cameras on their ring post. So if you have a VR headset, you can put it on and watch it like you're in the ring. Nice. I've done that a few times. It's actually pretty cool. That's how I watched the Matt Hardy and John Morrison versus the Young Bucks match.
Nice.
Who El Hijo beat for the AAA title? It was like a fatal 5-way match. He faced Bandito, Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish, and Samurai del Sol, which is better known as Kalisto.
Put that man in the freaking... He deserves it. No. If that's how he earned that title, I can't argue with his placement now.
So, yeah.
I bet that was a banger fucking match, dude.
Yeah.
I bet that was a good ass match.
Because that's MMA top notch right there. And amateur wrestling.
Bobby Fish,
holy smokes. I want to watch that match now.
Cameron Grimes at 123. That's gross.
Yeah. If you keep going... Evil Uno being the lowest spot I recognize at like 481.
Yeah, it's... Whoever's doing those lists need to fix how they do them, because, man, this list is... It's something.
That's what I said. I just want to know, like, what... The Blade is 454. the Butcher's 458. I want to know what they're basing it all off of.
When were they on TV?
Like, I just don't. Last time I remember was back when Jeff was still not drunk and in rehab. Because it was Jeff and Matt versus the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny.
Damn.
But I think that about does it for wrestling this week.
Yeah, that covers all our pro wrestling topics.
I feel like it's been boring as hell since we aren't talking about execs biting their top talent. But I mean, moving on to just the greater sports world. Mentioned it earlier, Nate Diaz won, like, 4th round guillotine. Fuck both of you for not believing. Honestly. Speaking of not believing, Colts did not believe in Rodrigo Blankenship at all. It makes me sick. Makes me want to not be a Colts fan. I literally want to grab Irsay by the ears and call him an old senile fuck.
You got to look at what he was doing at the end of last year, though, too. It wasn't
he was
just
hurt.
One game.
He was hurt all last year. What do you mean? Look at what he was doing last year.
Yeah, he was hurt, and then he was supposedly fine, and he still came back missing kicks.
Yeah, because he had to take over kickoff duties. That's what people don't understand. Every year he took over kickoff duties, his numbers tanked because he's not a kickoff and field goal guy. He never has been. So how about you get Matt Hacker to get his bitch ass doing something instead of punting, get him to do kickoffs, and Rodrigo would have stayed. And people say Rodrigo didn't have the leg. Bullshit. He made a Rose Bowl record 55-yard field goal for the biggest game of his life up until that point. And bro did not miss a field goal from 30 yards or under his entire career. And moving from 30 to 40 yards, I'm pretty sure he missed 3. And so you're going to bring in 2 more kickers that just have big legs that aren't accurate? The complete opposite of what you just had? I don't get how you can release Rodrigo, bring in 2 kickers, and sign both of them, and then cut one. Why not just bring in a kickoff specialist and then keep Rodrigo? I don't get it at all. And it's definitely not Matt Ryan's fault with, like, the 4 fumbles he had. It's definitely not the O-line's fault. It's definitely not Frank Reich's fault at all. No, it's definitely Rodrigo's. He's the problem on the team.
I will agree that the play call was pretty iffy.
Why do we run a Wildcat in the NFL? When was the last time Wildcat in the NFL worked? Back when RG3 was a rookie?
No, it was like 2008. That's when the Dolphins went to the playoffs because of it.
Well, the only reason I said RG3 is because it was pretty much a Wildcat offense with him back there his rookie year, because he had him and then the 2 running backs that no one expected to be good.
That was like a modified Wildcat, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, I might be a Lions-Raiders fan. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm on the
Lions almost
Detroit
won.
Revenge tour.
The Lions are going to be good this year. The Lions are going to, like, surprise a lot of people. I've been saying
Chargers
this.
May end up not being so good after last night's game. Not last night's game, Thursday night's game.
Bro, Jay Herbo's got that dog in him.
No.
Oh my God.
He's on day-to-day. He has
yeah, well, no shit. He couldn't even stand. Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
It was terrible. Bro was wincing in pain. He couldn't even run to get the first down. He got to the line of scrimmage and just threw it straight in the dirt because he couldn't run. It's just, I don't understand why you wouldn't take him out. The game's already lost. You got Chase Daniel in there as your backup quarterback. I don't know. NFL's going to be weird this year.
It is. I don't feel like Tom Brady is going to have the commitment to get deep into the postseason.
It'll keep him out of his home, so maybe. We'll have to see his kids or his wife.
The Colts kicker they have this season for this next game, Chase McLaughlin, according to his stats, has only missed 2 field goal kicks in the NFL. for the
How
extra
many kicks,
point.
though?
Let me see. Hang on. Extra points, 2 field goals, 49 attempted, 37 missed. So it's still not bad. It's not. It's not
37
better
made?
than Blankenship. Blankenship should not have been
I hope it's
booted by any means. Not the worst.
I don't know. I could sit here and talk for hours about how much that pisses me off. Georgia boys, though, represented. Sonny Michel did pretty good. Nicole Hardman was pretty good this week. Georgia's definitely RBU, and I don't give a shit what you have to say.
What is that? Running it back this year?
I just said Georgia's RBU, running back university.
Wow. Yeah,
But
Chubb's tearing it up.
Cubs tearing it up. Michelle had a good week. I wore my Gurley jersey today. But I think Georgia will run it back, to be completely honest. I don't see any team really having the dog in them to beat them.
I don't know. I could see Georgia losing a very silly game and then having to be in the position to have to beat Alabama twice.
Well, seems like that's how it is every year, so no surprises.
Like, for some reason, they'll end up losing to, like, Southern or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Wouldn't surprise me. Lose to Tech last game of the year.
Yeah.
Good old-fashioned hate. But moving on to motorsport, Will Power, IndyCar Series champion. Gotta tell you, don't really give a shit about Will Power. I'm more interested.
I just don't like him as a person.
Yeah. He said that he's mellowed out in his old age. I just think he's. I don't know. I can't get behind him. Yeah. Like he's kind of the Bret Hart of IndyCar.
Oh dear God.
He's just a whiny bitch.
See, anybody that watches episode
the world
1
of F1. Oh yeah, you're right. They'll need to watch episode 1 to get that reference.
Yeah.
That's callbacks. Find us on Spotify, Ace and the Whole Podcast. Go ahead and watch all episode 1. You can hear me talking about how I want Rhea Ripley to peg me.
Yeah. He admitted it!
Supposedly, allegedly.
No, you didn't. No. You cannot take that back.
Allegedly.
Now. You cannot take that back now.
Allegedly.
Save it. I'm gonna clip it.
Allegedly. What do you mean clip it? It's going on the internet. Dumbass.
It's gonna
be there for the entire world to hear.
It's gonna be my
What's going on in the world of F1, Cliff?
In the world of F1, they are currently in the off weeks where they should be racing in Russia. That race isn't happening anymore because Vladimir Putin is a dick. So the next race will be Singapore, and it's looking like Max Verstappen is going to lock up back-to-back World Driver Championships.
I was about to say I've barely actually sat down and watched any F1 this year. I've just been kind of results lurking and such, and Verstappen's what the hell happened to Lewis Hamilton? Like, what the hell's happened to Mercedes?
Mercedes built basically what happened with the cars they built. Red Bull this year decided to build a car like Mercedes had in the last gen, and Mercedes built the car like Red Bull had last gen, so they switched. And the power units, it's just Red Bull had to. Christian Horner said it best. Red Bull had to fix a fast car to keep it reliable. Mercedes had a reliable, slower car they had to make fast. So that's kind of how this year has gone.
I'm just waiting for McLaren to reign supreme one day again.
Well, they've got 27 drivers.
Yeah, I know.
They could put 4 in every car and just, swap out.
Also, I saw this. Apparently, Colton Herta is close to getting a seat in F1.
The FIA is more than likely going to deny his appeal for his super license, so I doubt it.
All I saw was the well, Colton Hurd is an IndyCar driver, and he's one of the better young IndyCar drivers. And I read that he was he was trending towards getting a seat.
He has appealed to get his super license, but I do not think it will be approved because IndyCar is like F2. So, I don't know.
I don't know. I could see him being on one of the back runner teams, like
Alpha.
It's not. I say it's not even called Sauber anymore. It's called.
Oh, you're talking about Alfa Romeo.
Well, they aren't even back runners anymore. They're like mid of the pack.
AlphaTauri is pretty back there. Haas is back there.
Well, Haas is always back there. That's never going to change. Haas just needs to pull out of F1 and make an IndyCar team at this point, honestly.
Isn't Haas Newman an IndyCar team?
I don't think so. I don't think Haas has anything to do with IndyCar.
A Haas Newman.
Because Tony would be all up in the IndyCar shit if there was.
Newman Haas Racing. Yeah, Newman Haas Racing. It used to be an IndyCar team.
Yeah, 1983 to 2011.
Oh, I think that's what the IndyCar world needs is just the chaos of having Tony Stewart as a team owner.
I'm telling you, if that needs to happen,
that would resurgence IndyCar.
Well, I don't know because he's all into the drag
racing.
Yeah, drag racing now. He's fronting his own team because his girlfriend or fiance or wife or whoever it is she's what's her name? Courtney.
Oh,
she is like the.
Yeah, she is very
power.
Good. I think so.
Let me look that up to check. Oh, I don't know. She like runs the drag racing.
Leah Pruitt.
Yeah, Pruitt. That's who it is. She is like the woman over there. So it's only a matter of time before Tony probably starts racing them.
He got his license too.
Oh yeah, like I said, we had like a little family. I had to write a story over like a family story that is told through generations, and I wrote mine over how Grandpa started the Tony Stewart fan club.
Oh yeah.
And one of the quotes I put in there was pretty much if it had four wheels and a motor, Tony would probably raced it and won it. So
yeah.
So it's still ringing true. Speaking of Stuart Haas, fucking late season push for no reason. Just
Eric
casual.
Almirola putting it on pole at Bristol.
At the last Coliseum, or whatever they call it. Last great Coliseum. Oh, also, Cup Series come back to North Wilkesboro next year.
Yep,
for the All-Star race. Which is wild. I didn't think that they'd do it that quick. I don't know how... I know that the first, like, the race that they just had there not too long ago, like the stock car race or whatever, had a really great showing. So things are looking very, very good for North Wilkesboro.
I did see where Jimmy Johnson is still eligible to run it, so he might come back for that.
That's what he worked into his new contract, was that he can come back and race NASCAR races if he wants, which I definitely think he will. He'll come back and race Dale Jr. would probably come back and race North Wilkesboro.
If he could.
I guarantee you. Well, didn't he race in the stock car race?
Yes, he did.
Odds-on favorite to win it, honestly. I mean, my docket is completely checked off. We've hit literally everything, and we're just over an hour.
We did a lot better this week when taking care of our time.
I also feel like it was a lot more boring. I feel like not as strong of an episode.
I mean, I don't know. Like sometimes you just need these calmer episodes. You know, like how baseball is going to be in 5 years when no one plays it.
Oh yeah, we completely skipped over that.
Nice segue, Cliff.
You want to host this show from here on out? Yeah, you want to.
I'll host the sports section. How about that? You do the wrestling, I'll do the sports.
Yeah, so I was literally the one that this was my idea, and I completely forgot about it. I literally said, all right, I want to talk about how baseball is going to shoot itself in the foot in the next 5 years, and completely forgot about it. And I'm saying this because of the new rule changes that they're going to add. They're completely banning the shift, which I think is stupid. Well, they aren't completely banning it, but they're limiting it to basically where it will be banned. And they're adding a pitch timer as well as just bigger bases, which I think all three of these is they don't fucking need them. Like, you don't need a pitch timer. You don't need to limit defensive shifts. If an entire team wants to stack their entire fucking team on the right side of the field because that dude only hits the right side of the field, I say you let him. And
what's
I feel
the
like
use of the bases?
I have no clue. Like, all I know is that they've been experimenting it in the minor leagues, and
like, was that something the union wanted for like safety or something?
I feel like it'd make it less safe because a lot more real estate to slip and trip over.
I don't know what the reasoning behind it would be.
Like roll ankles, and I think it has to do something with base running, if I do remember correctly, making it easier to run the bases and hit them correctly. And then also, as well, the completely robotic, automated umpires that are going to be introduced next year, I'm pretty sure. Which they've been working with it in the minor leagues, and I think they're going to start working with it in selected games. Yeah, here coming up soon in the majors, which I don't think there's any use for it. I say we keep...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I say the only thing I'm seeing when it comes to making the bases bigger is to put more space between the fielders and the runners. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just make it easier. I would say make it safer, but baseball's the most dangerous as it's ever been. So.
The MLB postseason picture right now looks like something I haven't seen for a little bit.
It's definitely crazy. You got the Yankees who
trying
are
to lose it.
Yeah, Yankees who are currently in an implosion.
Well, they're still in second.
I almost wore my Aaron Judge T-shirt jersey today. I was like, no.
My Phillies are still there.
You don't want to catch that smoke?
Hey, bro, I think I'm a Yankees fan now. We already talked about this. I just think I am.
I like that the Seattle Mariners are there too, and so are the Cleveland Guardians.
Well, yeah, they traded for basically some of the best players in baseball, and it filled every hole they needed.
The Blue Jays are in it right now. Yeah, Seattle Mariners are in it right now.
In the preseason, they traded it.
Who'd the Mariners trade for?
They got Suarez.
Oh yeah, such a high-level player there.
He's been on a tear in Seattle, my guy.
Not really.
Yeah, he has.
Luis Costello.
Literally the only. He's in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
July 2022.
Those are two Reds players.
No, the Reds have traded like 3 or 4 players there.
The Reds screwed over the Reds, and there's no other way of putting it. The Reds are the Bret Hart of MLB.
No, not really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not the Big Red Machine anymore.
Well, the owner who was there during the Big Red Machine was also a racist, bigot piece of shit, so...
Yeah, probably a good thing than not.
Allegedly.
No, it's not even allegedly, bro. I just watched a video of her a couple days ago. What she did was wild. She had a Nazi armband.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
And she referred...
She was bad.
She referred like Eric Davis and all the basically black players that they had as you can probably guess what.
Mm.
And she was also not a fan of Jews. She was very cheap. She didn't hire any black employees besides players. So, just gives you a little little insight on the woman she was.
Spicy.
A little more than spicy. I could have made a really bad joke there. I'm glad I didn't.
Don't.
I'm happy you didn't, because I know the joke you would have said, and we're going to keep it off the air. We're going to try to stay as close to PG-13 as we can.
So the postseason picture looks great so far.
We've already used our one F word for the podcast.
Oh, I've used plenty of F words.
One. There's been multiple.
All right.
Is Rhea Ripley pegging me PG-13?
Yes.
Or is that...
Yes, it is.
It is.
Or is that
Yes,
R?
it is.
Allegedly her pegging me. Is that...
You admitted to it.
Allegedly.
We're gonna mess around. This is gonna catch traction, and then this is what you're gonna get known as, Austin.
I'll wear a shirt that says it.
If we are able to get a sponsor deal within 2 months, I will pay for Austin to get a shirt made that says I want Rhea Ripley to peg me.
This podcast was brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
I don't. That's a sponsor deal. It works.
Oh God! All right, take us home, Austin.
All right. Hopefully Rhea will take me home. All right. Any final thoughts from either of you before we wrap this baby up?
Stan Hansen's still the best wrestler ever. Gotta watch episode 1 for that one.
Hard to disagree, but
2024 is going to be a very, very.
oh my God, are we just repeating exactly what we said last time? Because you both said that exact fucking thing last time. All right, I think we gotta cut it off here. We're almost at an hour 20, and we were talking about how well we conserved our time last time.
We were doing so good.
We were doing so good. Chad's gonna have a heyday with this one.
Oh God.
But if you aren't doing anything next Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, tune in to Ball State University's Twitch. Tuesday will be Valorant. Wednesday will be Rocket League. Thursday will be Valorant.
Please support the
Yeah, that's all.
podcast.
Yeah. Just honestly listen. All we need is 60 seconds. Counts as a listen. So just listen for 60 seconds and then... Well, if you're listening to us this far into it, you've already got a little further than 60 seconds in.
Any feedback's good feedback.
Yeah, really. But I've been Austin. Going with me today was Cliff and Eli, as always.
Austin's getting paid
And
by Rhea.
allegedly. And just remember, we've got you covered because we're your ace in the hole. Catch you on down the road.